Hello and welcome to Tricks of the S-Tray channel. And today is the 22nd of February 2017. And we have a princess that's been gender traded on the menu today. And who do we have? We have Princess Kate Middleton, right? The princess that's married to Prince William, heir of the throne of England. And before we kick off the video, all right, and before we kick off the program, as I always say, I just want to remind you, right, that I'm not against transgenders, right? I'm not against you living a life in a gender that's not yours or trying to act like, a gender that's not yours. That's your problem. I don't judge people. The person that does that is God Almighty, right? And He gave every one of us choice to mess your life the way you want it. And He will remain the judge of us all. All right? So what we are trying to expose is the organized system put in place to take children at a young age before they can reach the age that they can make a choice to say, okay, this is how I want to live, or this is not how I want to live. The choice is taken away from them. They are enslaved, mutilated, castrated, abused, fed hormones, and forced to live in a sex and gender that's not theirs. As I've always said, that the people who are the hams of this, who have put this system in place and make it to be a well-oiled machine, is the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church hierarchy, the people who run it. All right? And so, with that said, we're getting back to the subject of Princess Kate Middleton. And like I always say, if it's the first time that you're on this channel and you're watching this video, watching any video at all, I recommend that you watch the primer video on this channel. I recommend that you watch the Zayn Malik video. I recommend that you watch the Marilyn Monroe video on this channel, and that you also download the document that's going to be attached to every video that we make, and that you read that document so that you can know the visual differences between male and female. Because like I said, a channel is dedicated to giving you facts. We don't just want to talk about stuff. We show you facts. We educate you. We don't indoctrinate you. We don't just say, repeat after me and believe that it's true. Don't ask any stupid questions, all right? We actually show you. We train your mind, okay? So before we get into the video now, one of the things that I had always said that one of the primary reasons for having transgenders was because when you take a man, all right, and you castrate him, that man ceases to function as a man in society. He can't function as a female either because he can't give birth, right? So when that happens, you have to give him a sense of livelihood, something to live for. So what kings and queens did was to make sure that when they castrated children or castrated boys, and because they couldn't fit into normal society, being that you've taken his manhood away from him, he can't function as a man, you have to create an alternate reality or a livelihood for him to live. And this is the reason why these castrated people serve the king with all obedience, because one, they couldn't have children that they could lay claim to the throne on. So the king or queen was at peace, right? So they served as high level, right, guards and servants and high level political appointees, as you can read from my screen, and which I do recommend that you can click on that link that you see right now that says Wikipedia Castrato, and that you read it, all right? So now in the case, so I'm going to give you a typical example of this case with Princess Kate Middleton. So, and I'll give you a brief history as we get into that, all right? Now, to start this history, as I've told you before, the Roman Catholic Church had ruled the world firmly for a period until the late 1400s when things started to change. And because the change was brought about by the man called Martin Luther, all right, he pasted on the wall of the Catholic churches his thesis that the Pope was not of God, that he was not worshiping the God of the Bible, all right. The Bible is being translated to us in the King James Version. Now, this thesis of Martin Luther caused a rift in the Roman Catholic kingdom. So certain kings and queens which were on the Roman Catholic rulership started succeeding from that rulership and became Protestant. So that is from where we have the word Protestant. You're protesting against the Pope, the Vatican. That's what it means to be Protestant. So because of the Reformation of Martin Luther, all right, the Protestant kings succeeded. And from then on till today, the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican, has gone about to make sure that it rules the world once again as it ruled it during the time before the Protestant movement. Okay? So now, let's get into the subject to show you a little bit of history and timeline. Now, what we're going to start with is with a movie called V for Vendetta, right? If you've ever watched this movie, it's a nice movie to watch, but the story, because the Vatican owns Hollywood, the story has been twisted. The main character in that movie that you watch, which is portrayed by Hugo Weaving, was actually the evil man in real life. Because this is based on a true life story, but the Vatican has twisted it and made the person who was responsible, or the terrorist in that time, to be the hero. Does it make sense now? They're trying to portray Guy Fawkes as the hero to you when he was actually the villain trying to kill the king. So now let's get into the story and a little bit of timeline, all right? Now, the story of V for Vendetta is based on a guy called Guy Fawkes, all right? You can look up the story by highlighting on my screen, as I'm highlighting right now, the gunpowder plot on Wikipedia, right? I recommend that you read other links. Now, this was the link I was trying to, it opened at first, right? When it will give you the full story about the gunpowder plot with Guy Fawkes, acted out and misconstrued in the movie V for Vendetta. As you can see, you can pause this right here and copy that link and type it out and paste it in your browser and see if it will open up, right? It was working very well for a minute, then all of a sudden it just crashed. It would give you the full story. Back on Wikipedia right here, it may not give you the full details, but what I want you to note is the timeline on this, all right? Now, follow my mouse now. It says, the gunpowder plot of 1605, in earlier centuries often called the gunpowder treason plot or the Jesuit treason. Can you see that? The gunpowder plot of 1605. I'm going to read it in words that you can understand. In earlier centuries often called the gunpowder treason plot, or you can substitute right here, Roman Catholic Vatican treason, was a failed assassination attempt against the King James I of England, the King James that we have the King James Bible from. So I want you to take note of that, all right? Of England, and 6 of Scotland, by a group of provincial English Catholics led by Robert Catesby. Now, when you read this story, what the Vatican is going to try to portray to you is that these guys were just, where they felt sad, or that the king wasn't treating Catholics well, and so they went about and tried to assassinate the king because he wasn't treating Roman Catholics well in that country. All right? But here is the story they never tell you. So I'm going to show you the timeline. If we go to King James, all right? We're looking at the King James Bible. I want you to notice the date, all right? I'm going to start reading. It says the King James Version was also known as the Authorized Version, AV, or the King James Bible. Follow my mouse. Is an English translation of the Christian Bible for the Church of England, begun in 1604. Can you see that? I stop right there. I don't want you to go further. You can read this all on your own later on. Can you notice the year 1604? Can you see that right there with my mouse right there? 1604. Now let's go back to the gunpowder plot. Which year did it start? 1605. The timeline always shows you what happened. So here's the story that you won't hear, right? Or which will not connect to you what happened. Now, when the kings of Europe succeeded from the Roman Catholic Church, right? Now remember, Martin Luther was trying to interpret the Bible at that time into his language in German, right? You can go look that up, right? So the Bible became a problem. The commoners reading the Bible, understanding the words of the Bible, not being preached to a pulpit like we have in pastors today, which pastors preach to you and you just accept it and go home. But people actually having access, taking the Bible back home and reading it for themselves. Now, when this happened after Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King. When this happened during Martin Luther's time, a lot of the kings in Europe, because you have to know, if you're going to rebel and be successful, you can't do it on your own. You have to get your people involved. So the kings started making the Bible accessible to their people, but some of them were more, right? More like, let's say, much more into making sure that the common people had the Bible. So this is what King James tried to do. So now the English people the Bible was always read to them in Latin. It wasn't read to them in English for so many years, right? So when King James came on the scene, and because he was protesting against the Pope and the Vatican and wanting to be free of him, he wanted to make the Bible common to everybody. So he set about making sure. And during this time, the English people in this time and era were one of the assets of the Roman Catholic Church, even as they are today still. So the Pope, the Vatican, couldn't stand the fact that the common people would have access to the Bible. Because like I always tell people, the Vatican wants you to take the Bible to be just a religious book, but it's not. It's a history book. It's a book of wisdom. It will show you logical, sound thinking and what you can expect from every human nature and trick. It will make you wise. It's a history book as well. It shows you all the machinations of men and how they can move and act. So when the Roman Catholic Church knew that King James was attempting to translate the Bible from Latin that it was written in into the common language of the English people, they couldn't stand that. They were trying to make sure that they could kill him and install a Roman Catholic king. So I want you to notice that. So in 1604, when King James set about by gathering scholars and everybody to make sure that they could translate the Bible, the plot to kill him got in place. So that's why you can see that here says the gunpowder plot 1605 started on the 5th of November was put in place. That means they had been planning, but by 5th of November it was now put in place to make sure that they will kill King James. That plot did not work, and the guys who were behind this, which was Guy Fawkes, the guy you will see in the movie V for Vendetta, who's portrayed, right, as the good guy, as the hero of the movie, who was actually the villain, the evil person who tried to blow up the English Parliament on November 5. So with that said now, we can get back to the subject of Princess Kate Middleton. Now what I want to let you know, because like I've said before, right? The reason for being transgenders, for having transgenders, way back in the times of kings and queens, was because they could not lay any, right, claim to the throne. Because as a king, you required descendants. Without the ability to have children, you couldn't lay claim on the throne. So these people served as high-level political appointees and servants to the king. So let's say, for example, hypothetically, that the Roman Catholic Church finally, after the King James Bible was made public, had a vendetta against the English crown. What would be the best way for you to take care of that so-called people who made the Bible, the King James Bible, popular to you and I so we could read and understand? What would you do? You would replace the family. If I was the Pope, that's what I would do. So that's why you have a transgender in Princess Kate Middleton. So with that said, let's show you what's going on. All right? Now, here's a picture of Princess Kate Middleton. What I want you to take a good look is the neck muscle area first. Men have wide, strong necks to support the heavy skull that we have. Because as a man, you have at the least 10% more brain matter than a female. So this causes the skull to be very heavy. In order to support the heavy skull, which is basic architectural design in building, if you have something heavy on top, you have to have a wide enough and strong support base below to be able to handle all that weight. That's why men have much more heavier, wider, and stronger necks. And when you take a look at the hands, men have bigger hands in comparison to the face. If you cut a man's hand at his wrist and place it on his face, it's going to fill up the whole entire face. It's going to fill it up and leave little or nothing left. And when you take a look at the knees, when a woman walks, a woman doesn't walk this way. Because men have more kneecap and females have less kneecap. The reason being because with a woman has a wider pubic arch. That means the space in between the thighs, the legs. So that's why she's able to have sex and bear children, because of that wide pubic arch. Men don't have a wide pubic arch. They have a narrow one. And then also because of the way the physical biology between men and females, what happens is like men have more balanced legs. That means the upper thigh muscles, the quadriceps, right, are almost the same as the hamstring. They're well balanced. In females, because the hips are further spread apart, right, they have more developed quadriceps, the upper thigh less than the lower thigh. So because of that, that affects the knees and makes you have more kneecap because you're more balanced, so you see everything. So with women, because the upper thigh muscle, right, is more developed than the hamstrings, the knees, it covers up the knees, so you have less kneecap showing. So that's why you see more kneecap showing right here with Kate Middleton. And if you're not aware, let me show you what a female's knees looks like when she works. I'm going to pull this up to the side. All right? Can you see the difference? Because the upper thigh is more developed, it covers the kneecaps more, so you have less kneecap showing. Does it make sense? Can you see the ruggedness of this kneecap compared to this one right over here? All right, let's move further. Take a look again at how she works. Can you see that? Look at the hands. Look at the knees again, right? Showing you you're looking at a male, genetically born male, probably castrated before he could make a choice to become or to make a choice to say, I want to be female. All why? Because the the Vatican is making sure that they have no more threats in that royal line. All right? It could be the king, it could be the Queen of England as well. Any of one of them could be all male. All right? Let's go further. Take a look at those things that I told you about. Men have more balanced quadriceps, upper thigh and lower thigh, the hamstrings. You can see the balance right now. If Kate Middleton was a female, you would see more of this. The upper thigh would be a lot more thicker and rounder. Does it make sense? Right? That you're looking at a genetically born male. Let's go further. Take a look again. Can you see that? That's a man right there. You're looking at a dude. Forget about the long hair. The long hair is to cover up the shoulders and cover up the neck, right? And distract you from looking at that smile, to distract you away from looking at the shape that you're looking at a dude. Can you see that? All right, some more pictures. Take a look again. As a female, you're supposed to have an arch in your back. Why is that? So when you're pregnant, you can carry the weight of pregnancy. Without an arch, you will be tumbling over if you're a female. It's basic design. It's the basic design of the skeletal structure. It's one of the defining skeletal structures of female. If every other thing changes in a female, right? The arch in the back and the wide pubic arch in the pelvis and the tilted pelvis that tilts forward will never change. Because all this is stamped when an egg is fertilized by a sperm, when the sex is determined before birth. Let's go further. Look again now. Look at the neck. Look at the wide shoulders. Look at that scale. Look at that muscle. Look at the straight back. Can you see that? Those are the muscles of a dude. You're not looking at a female. You're looking at a dude right here. See how strong and wide the neck is? And how developed the trapezius muscles are to support the heavy skull. All right, let's go further. Look at the straight back. Can you see that? A female is not supposed to have a straight back. That's a man's back. It's up and down. All right, let me show you what a female's back should look like, okay? If you don't know, if it's the first time that you've been on this channel, I recommend that you download the document, okay? It's going to be attached to every video. Now look at that back. A woman's back is always arched, right? The arch is going to start right below the shoulder blades. It's going to start dipping. Then by the time it gets to her navel, it starts coming out right into her butt area. With a man, it goes straight down into the pelvis, the back of the pelvis. Some more pictures so you could see what I'm talking about, all right? A woman is always going to have an arch in her back, all right? If she bends or curves, that arch is always going to show. Some more pictures, all right? Look at that. That's Uma Thurman right there. She's got an arch in her back. She's female, right? Some more pictures so you can understand what I'm saying, all right? I'm just going to scroll down a bit more. It doesn't matter if you're muscular. You have to have an arch in your back so you can carry the weight of children. Can you see that right there? See that arch right there? It doesn't matter if you're fat. You still have to have that arch. All right? Let's go further. See that arch right there in this female's back? It starts just below the shoulder blades. Starts dipping in. And then when it comes out right from the navel, it goes into the pelvis. Doesn't matter if you got muscles. Look, this is a muscular female. You can still see the arch in the back. Can you see that? Doesn't matter how you come. You have to have an arch in that back if you're female. Right? Anything else could be subjective or whatsoever. But that arch and that pelvis has to show. Alright? There's a man's back right here. Straight. Straight up and down. No arch. If a man's back wants to arch, it arches outside. With a female, it arches inside. There's a difference, all right? Look again here. See that? Straight back. Straight up and down into the pelvis. Look at another one. Straight up and down into the pelvis. You can pause the video, go take a look at the document, and read it and study for yourself. Let's go further. Look at that. The straight back of Kate Middleton. Up and down. Some more pictures, all right? Let's go further. So the question now becomes, where are they getting the children from? Can you see what I'm talking about? How evil is so organized you can't even fathom it. Look at this. This is two males. Can you see the same shoulders? And just like I told you, when something, the system is so good, it's a well-oiled machine. When something is gonna give them out, so you can know that you're looking at a dude, all of a sudden the pictures become hazy, blurry, and you can't see anything. But even with this outline, you can still see over here that this is the same shoulders as the same shoulders over here that you're looking at a male. The shoulders are extended outside of the body. But because they don't want to show you this, the picture becomes all hazy and blurry. Right? But no problem. We know what we're looking at. Look at the straight back again. Can you see that? Look at the wide shoulders right here. Can you see that? You're looking at a male. Let's go further. Look at the straight back again. There's no arch in that back. How is this thing supposed to make babies? Please tell me. Where did it get the babies from? Where did it get the babies from? Let's go further. Look at that again. Same picture. Let's not waste time. Let's go further right here. Look at the hands. Look at the muscular nature of those hands. Are you telling me you're looking at a female? There's no female that looks like this. See, the thing with females is this. If you have to have muscle, you have to take supplements in the gym. And every supplement you take has some form of testosterone. Right? Testosterone in it. So that when you take it, you can have the ability to build muscle. That's why females may go to the gym for years and still have no muscle. Is because they don't naturally have the testosterone in high levels in their body to build muscle. That is a requirement for building muscle. All right? Look at the hands. Look at the muscle structure. Look at the wide neck and trapezius muscles. Forget about the makeup, the lipstick, the earrings, and the hair and the smile, which is only trying to deceive you. All right? To fool you from looking at that you're looking at a male. Let's go further. Look at that again. Look at the wide neck, the strong neck to support the heavy skull that he has on top. You're looking at a dude. See that? Can you see that? All right, let's go further. Can you see the hands? If you cut the hands right here, right, and pull it all in the face, the length of this hand from the tip down to the wrist will fill up this face and leave little or nothing left. Clear signs that you're looking at a male. Because if this thing was female, the hands would be smaller. If you pull the hand into the face, it's going to feel just 3/4 of it. And it's going to leave a quarter out. That you're looking at a genetically born male. Let's go further. Look at the straight back again. Remember the picture I showed you? If you don't, let me pull it in so you can compare. Can you see that? See that right there. Okay? Let's pull it in. Can you see that now? Right? Look at the back. Compare that back over here. Men have more back when they're standing from the side. You can see a whole width of the back more. And see how straight it is down into the pelvis. See how straight this is down into the pelvis. Showing you that you're looking at a male. Let's go further. Look at that again. There is no hip. A female at least is supposed, it doesn't matter if the female has wider shoulders than a hip, but down here you're still supposed to see the hourglass figure down here. That's a straight hip, telling you looking at a male. Right? Can you see that? Look at the wide neck, the strong neck. Let's go further. Look at that. And it's carrying this little baby. Where did they get the baby from? Surrogacy? Probably. Yep. But who's to say they can do nothing? They can do more than that. right? Who knows this baby, if this baby is transgender as well already? The poor baby. Look at that neck. And you think this is mommy carrying baby, but this is actually daddy wearing mommy's clothes carrying a baby. Wow. Look at that. Look at that neck. All right, let's go further. See the way they sit? Now, I'm not sure about Princess Diana over here. I haven't done any transvestigation on her, but I'm telling you, look at the way this thing sits. Can you see? Look at how straight the torso up is. That's how men sit. See how long the torso up? The torso, her body is. See how long it is. Straighten up and sitting down. He sits just like him. So you're looking at a male. Can you see that? Can you see that? All right, let's go further. Look at that again. Look at the knees. Look at the calf muscles. Those are the calf muscles of a man, not a female. Look at the hands. Men have more nerves endings showing. You have more nerves at your hands, right? Larger arms, right? Look at that neck. Can you see that? Look at that neck right there. Strong wide neck. Support the heavy skull. All right, let's go further. Look at the straight back again. Look at the flat tummy. A man's tummy tends to be flat, right? A female's tummy is going to curve from the side. It's going to curve from the up, and it's going to curve downwards, slant into the tilted spine, right? You're looking at a male. Forget the long hair and the earrings. Look at those long arms. Can you see that? All right, let's go further. Look at the straight back again. Up and down, straight. No curve, no arch in it. Look at the way this thing walks. That's a walk of a man with swagger, right? Does it make sense? Look at the shoulders. Look at the trapezius muscles, well built, right? Look at the swagger of a man right here. Well, with that, we come to the end of the video. Stay tuned, subscribe, and you get more videos as it comes. Thanks, and bye-bye.